This week in comic books, Zatanna #2 comes out. Kind of wish it didn't. In Marvels, we get NYX. Kind of, sort of. It's really about somebody else. We'll dive deeper into that. And Independence, Bubba. Let's just go ahead and talk about Flash Gordon and a few other great independents that came out this week for you. But first, I have to try to sell you some coffee, because that's what pays for the channel. So check this out. Hey, what's going on, folks? This is your boy Pocan Joe to talk to you about Coffee Brand Coffee. We serve people that are tired of gimmicky advertising and branded companies that want to lecture you. At Coffee Brand Coffee, all we want to do is serve you freshly roasted coffee wherever you're at, whenever you want it. Consider Coffee Brand Coffee. Check us out, check our reviews out, and use promo code POCANJOE or the link down in the description to save yourself some money. Give me the opportunity to get you a delicious cup of coffee. Okay, you wonderful weirdos, let's just jump right into this with Zatanna, bringing down the house. And I really wish they would. Like, this is doing that thing that I personally don't care a whole lot for. In this one, Zatanna has to fight a demon. It's issue 2, so, you know, we got to have some sort of battle. A person comes up called the Stranger. She's just that, a little on the nose, but all right. And then we get taken off to this wonderland of casters, right? Meaning magic casters, woo-woo casters. And this story takes you out of itself so often, it's kind of ridiculous. Everything's kind of this undercut, snarky type joke. Whether it's from Zatanna, whether it's from the Stranger character, whatever the case may be, while they're still kind of illuminating with this kind of, well, death of a small kid that Zatanna and her father obviously caused. So every time it mentions the seriousness, it's just undercut, you know, to kind of add some levity, I guess. But it just completely missed me on this. I'm just not a fan. So we'll move on to the next thing. Next, we get Task Force 7. I'm still enjoying this, even though it's an Aquaman story. If you've seen this channel, I just don't like water stories. Again, personal preference. Nothing against the writers or anybody else. But this was good. I enjoyed this. As we get the Meso robots that can siphon off superhero powers, this happens to Aquaman. And of course, he goes down there and he has to kind of subdue the people of Atlanta to kind of keep them under control while Amanda Waller and her team try to take over the surface land. Whatever the case may be there. Get a wonderful appearance from the Doom Patrol in it. So we're kind of doing that thing where we're having an epic event and we're throwing in the most random characters we can and just colliding them together. And most of the time, they can come off kind of, oh, you're just using characters. But in this one, for some odd reason, it just fit. And it was just, artwork's beautiful in it. They're sharks. You can't beat sharks. Who doesn't like a good shark attack? So that happens in here as well. And I'm going to tell you, the action sequences and this event, I am really enjoying it. More so on this Task Force stuff than the Absolute Power main story. But again, it's a solid read. All right, moving on. Something I wish actually happened in a comic book. So, NYX. So if you don't know, this is a clone of Wolverine, right? And in this one, you're thinking that you're going to get an NYX story. And again, it's about Kamala Khan. Because we can't get enough of her. She had a TV show, if you didn't know. In here, Krakoa is done with, so we're still dealing with the aftermath of mutants being put back into more of a general society. And of course, to tell that story, we got to add the racism story. Where this book actually did well is it kind of balanced it out. You know, both sides are going to have extremes to it, giving us a character named Captain Krakoa, who's just hellion. I don't think that's a spoiler. It's been mentioned before in the Krakoa era. But he's also got a little team put together, and they're kind of starting a little bit of a Boogaloo, right? And then we have some people on the other side that don't like the mutants. They're kicking off a little bit of a Boogaloo too, to kind of keep tension rise between the two, while Kamala Khan is trying to figure out where she kind of lies in all this. It's interesting, and I really enjoy that aspect of it. So why is it called NYX? She only got about 3 to 4 panels in here of, hey kid, this really isn't, you know, a little higher level than what you need to be involved in, and then kind of just disappears. My assumption is that, she'll swing back around and they'll team up, I'm sure. But for a first issue, with the great covers kind of pointing towards it, plus the title, kind of wanted something more there. Oh, but all in all, it's a decent story. Probably a little topical, too. A little on the nose with current times. Next, we get Strange Academy number 3. This is the Blood Hunt tie-in. Still been very solid story. I love Strange Academy. I think it's a great depiction of children and how they interact with each other inside different environments that most of the time adults have to deal with. And I think the writers do a good job on this. In this one, we kind of learn the Darkhold, right? The book got changed into a kid. And in this, he's kind of had this noblesse attitude, and he really doesn't like vampires, so on and so forth. One of the students is obviously a vampire, and then kind of learns what empathy is. And I thought it was a great moment in the comic book where Pi, our vampire character, realizes that the Darkhold has these feelings because of Agatha. And then she kind of learns that while everybody else learns that not all vampires are bad. 2024, vampires are not just bad guys anymore. With all that said, kind of ending it with Dr. Doom kind of recruiting the kids from the Strange Academy to kind of help him out a little bit makes me wonder where all the people are in the Strange Academy. Like the adults, Dr. Voodoo, Strange. Well, we know where Strange is because his Blood Hunt tied it. But a bunch of the other teacher-type characters just really aren't around, and the kids are just running rampant. So be it. As long as Dr. Doom does something cool in this aspect and just doesn't use him to siphon off the magic like they kind of hinted to in the book, as long as there's a twist to that, that would be even better. I would enjoy that. That would be great. All right, moving on to our independents this week. And I am excited about the independents this week. We get Flash Gordon number 1. Solid. Picks up right where it left off back in the day. Flash Gordon's imprisoned. He's been in prison because he started a little bit of a boogaloo trying to save Earth. And this is his escape from the prison, if you will. And then finding out that somebody who he cares very dearly for, there's an assassination attempt. I'll get it one of these days, on her life. So now he's got to go and try to save her as well, which kind of caused this whole thing. I really like this. I think Flash Gordon's an interesting character, especially if you like that sci-fi kind of old school. Giving it a little bit of an update, launching it forward with the artwork. Solid stuff. Next, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 1. We're relaunching it. We're sending them back out. This kind of picks up where we're just dealing with Raphael, who is in a prison. He's in a prison to help the warden try to figure out all the corruption that happens inside of prisons by its staff, how people escape, things along those lines. But the warden's not really working with him. He treats him like a prisoner. And of course, Raphael gets framed for the murder of a prison guard. Ninjas attack, the whole 9 yards. I think what they're doing is they're doing much like what the G.I. Joe series does in the Energon universe, where they're just launching single issues. Because I think the next one's going to be Michelangelo, and it's going to be a single story about him. And then when they're done with all 4 or 5, whatever the case they may do, they'll probably have a main story altogether, kind of relaunching the branding there, which is smart. Next, Nemesis. If you don't know anything about Nemesis, this was a comic book back in 2010. If you like The Boys comic book, you'll like this. It's ultra violent, kind of over the top. This is him in a prison, and of course his men come to break him out. He needs to heal his body because it's all smashed up. So this is kind of his, I don't want to say hero because he's not a hero, but his kind of comeback montage, if you will, where he kind of gets healed, and now he's decided that he wants to take on a sidekick. And given the violent nature of this character, who is not a hero, he's probably going to pick the worst of the worst to help him go do the worst of the worst. Beautiful. Next, Abyss. So this is fun. I didn't even know this was coming out. I like these kind of horror anthology stories where there's a couple of different stories in here because they're really better and when dealing with current issues. And in this, they kind of do. Like, you're going to get some little tongue-in-cheek about being vaccinated or people having certain beliefs in a political party, stuff like that. You're going to have that in here, but they do it in such a great horror that it just doesn't feel like tongue-to-cheek snarkiness. It's just somebody telling a funny story with some horror involved. I enjoy it. I'll be picking up some more of this if my comic book shop gets it. Last, Rook. Let's just go ahead right now. Right? Pick of the week. I am a fan of this universe. In this one, I don't even really want to review it for you. I just want to tell you that it's great. But in this, the artwork, the action scenes, the designs, the dialogue, this animalistic nature of man, and then he can control animals at the same time. We get some stuff with this grizzly bear guy. I'm going to tell you right now, just it's not too late. This is only issue. What issue is this? Let's take a quick peek. Issue 4? Like, you should still be able to pick some of this stuff up and still be able to enjoy the read. And it's becoming very popular out there in this little seller side market as well. I don't know. It may be something for you. So that's my haul and review for this week. I wanted to get this done as quickly as possible because I want to tell you we're going to be playing around with YouTube Shorts here on the channel. Now, I'm not doing this as sort of an advertiser or to eat up your feed in any way. I'm genuinely screwing around with YouTube algorithm because funsies. It's funsies. I had an idea. I'm going to move forward with it. And if you know anything about me or my Evil Layer channel, or if you've met me in person, you know I love screwing around with things. So we're going to kind of test out some YouTube short stuff out there. I'll do my best to kind of keep it, comic book related and everything else. But by no means is there an expectation for you to view it or to like it or even comment on it. Just know it's Pocan Joe being Pocan Joe. And that's all I got for this week, guys. I'll see you next week. Bye.